Welcome to Anything You Want, the place where the brightest names in Turkish entertainment take center stage and the subtlest glances can rewrite a love story. Before we begin, tap subscribe, hit like, and, if you want to go the extra mile, click join to support our channel. Your comments guide our next deep dives, so tell us everything you're thinking as this unfolds. In the hush of a funeral, where footsteps soften and even the air seems to tread lightly, an unexpected crack of tension reportedly cut through the solemnity. Beloved actress Hande, carrying the weight of personal loss, found herself in a fraught triangle of the past and the present. Kerem, long associated in the public imagination with steadfast care, and Hakan, the ex whose sudden appearance was meant, according to onlookers, as a simple gesture of condolence. What followed, insiders insist, was not a scene staged for cameras but a spill of long-shelved emotions under the harsh light of grief. Accounts circulating among attendees and in entertainment circles sketch a moment that escalated with surprising speed. Kerem, described as calm to the point of stillness, reportedly stayed close to Hande, shielding her from the bustle, managing small logistics, and keeping the atmosphere as composed as possible. Hakan's arrival, by contrast, is said to have landed like a stone on still water, well-intentioned yet disruptive. Several witnesses claim Hande reacted sharply. Some blogs even paraphrase a cutting line to the effect that she needed no other support while Kerem was there, after which Hakan, taken aback, withdrew without a word. None of the principals have issued an on-the-record statement at the time of this recording, and the specific wording remains unverified. Still, the contour of the moment has already ignited a media prairie fire. Pause here for a heartbeat, because we'd love your view. In a charged space like a funeral, is it ever wise for an ex to appear, however kindly the motive? Or is the gentlest choice to offer sympathy from a distance? Tell us below, and while you're sharing, remember to subscribe to Anything You Want and click join if you want to help us bring you more careful, long-form storytelling like this. As the dust of the day settled, commentary surged. Fans flooded timelines with messages praising Kerem's composed presence, a shelter in a storm, as one widely shared post put it, while others extended empathy to Hakan, suggesting he had drifted into a moment where every gesture could be misconstrued. Tabloid programs looped the narrative with forensic enthusiasm, and digital forums did what they do best. They compared expressions, reconstructed timelines, and argued, often passionately, about whether boundaries had been drawn too late or simply enforced at last. People close to Hande, speaking in whispers rather than official quotes, framed the flashpoint as the residue of an earlier breakup that never quite cooled. The relationship with Hakan, they hint, didn't close with clean lines. Its aftertaste lingers, and grief has a way of dissolving the partitions we erect to keep the past at bay. In that reading, Hakan's appearance became not merely the arrival of a former partner but the return of an era Hande has been, with visible effort, stepping beyond. In parallel, the steadying effect of Kerem's presence has reassured those who long suspected that their connection, whatever word you use for it, wasn't fully extinguished, only muted by time. Over the following days, fresh threads appeared. Two separate sources describe a quiet meeting between Hande and Kerem away from the noise, a tucked-away cafe, a conversation paced more by sighs than sentences, and a small, persistent ritual of holding hands. One witness even noted that, between tears, Hande managed a half-smile that felt like muscle memory, an expression learned long ago and never entirely forgotten. If these accounts are accurate, they suggest a careful attempt at repair, not an instant reconnection but the first, cautious span of a bridge over old water. Meanwhile, Hakan has kept to silence, no press statements, no cryptic captions, no telltale likes. This silence is a Rorschach test, some interpret it as dignity, a choice not to stoke a public bonfire. Others read it as wounded pride, the quiet of someone who realizes that an old chapter cannot be rewritten by a drop-in cameo, however kindly intended. Columnists have sketched both portraits. The truth may be simpler and sadder. Sometimes the decent thing and the painful thing are the same act, walking away. We should acknowledge, soberly, the limits of what is known. The scene at the funeral, its sharp words, its sudden exits, lives mostly in witness testimony and the echo chamber of social media. No formal clarifications have arrived from Hande or Hakan, and Kerem has offered nothing beyond his tangible presence at a moment of loss. That said, patterns tell stories, the repeated sightings, the reports of private conversations, the familial counsel Hande is said to have sought in the days after. Taken together, they sketch not a scandal but a reckoning. What do you keep, what do you set down, and who can you truly lean on when the room goes quiet? Quick breather for our community. If you're with us this far, you're exactly the kind of viewer who makes anything you want special. Tap subscribe, ring the bell, and consider the join button to keep independent coverage like this alive. Drop a comment with the celebrity stories you want us to cover next. We spotlight your top picks. Back to our narrative. Those who know Hande best say she has been deliberate since the funeral, seeking counsel from family, interrogating her own boundaries, and trying to separate momentary emotion from durable truth. The prospect of a renewed path with Kerem, they hint, feels both natural and daunting. Reconciliation, after all, isn't a rose petal montage, it is work. It asks you to revisit the rooms where past arguments were staged and rearrange the furniture so the same scenes do not play again. Whether they will walk that path remains uncertain, but the tenderness described in their recent meeting reads like a pilot light, small, steady, enough to warm a room if protected from drafts. Social media, of course, has chosen its sides. One chorus insists that real love is measured in crisis, pointing to Kerem's quiet choreography at the funeral, managing small details, giving Hande cover, never once stepping into the spotlight. Another, smaller choir extends charity to Hakan, arguing that condolences are not a performance and that even a fraught arrival can be an honest attempt at kindness. Between these poles sits a more reflective view. Grief changes the terms of engagement, and the most respectful act is to ask what support is wanted before offering it. So where does this leave us? With three people, each facing a different strand of the same knot. Hande Ursel, negotiating privacy and public gaze, trying to mourn without the glare of interpretation. Kerem Bursin, offering steadiness without statement, a presence that says more than any caption could. Hakan Sabansi, choosing reticence in a world that punishes silence with speculation. As for the rest of us, we remain in the lobby outside their lives, catching fragments when the door cracks open. Tell us, viewers, should Hande and Kerem risk a second premiere, or is grace sometimes found in leaving a beautiful story at its first ending? Was Hakan's appearance an error in timing or a kindness misread by a room already heavy with emotion? What would you have done, arriving with empathy and meeting a boundary drawn in grief? Share your thoughts with us. Your perspective shapes where we take this conversation next. This has been your in-depth look from Anything You Want. If this kind of careful, long-form storytelling resonates with you, like, subscribe, and consider hitting join to support our work. Drop a comment with the Turkish stars you want featured next. We read everything. Until our next chapter, be well, be kind, and keep the conversation going.